Back-to-back days of videos on the secondary channel? Yes, it surprises me as well. As we've seen this summer, superhero movies have been somewhat disappointing to say the least. Some more than others, which is a shame because I really enjoyed Thunderbolts. It was refreshing and one of Marvel's best movies in years. And Yelena, I would not mind being leg scissored into a comatose state. I encourage it, actually. How a worse Lilo and Stitch movie and silver screen slop, such as the Minecraft movie, made $1 billion each, I'll never know. Yet another reason why I need to be Emperor of the World so that shit like this doesn't happen. Even Superman made less than what people thought it would. Made less than Man of Steel at the making of this video. It's still possible it could pass it, but I get the feeling people were expecting it to do somewhere around 700 million. But tell me what you guys thought of Fantastic Four and Superman. I haven't seen either of these yet, unfortunately. You can make an argument that that Superman movie is supposed to kickstart their new cinematic universe after all the duds and travesties they've come out with. People probably are tuned off by anything DC and they're a little hesitant. But what's Marvel's excuse? Why did Fantastic Four suffer that big second weekend drop? Why did Thunderbolts flop? Is Marvel still good or not? Oh wow, I don't know how to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, I'm done. Thunderbolts had characters that I refer to as bench warmers, with the exception of Sentry. Bench warmers tend to do better on streaming services. And I hear Thunderbolts is doing really well on Disney Plus right now. But Guardians of the Galaxy were bench warmers. Nobody knew who they were, and that did great. 3 movies of great. Even the first 2 Ant-Man films did really well for some reason. I don't fucks with Ant-Man, I'm sorry. I don't hate him, but I'm indifferent. Reasons as to why these things occurred is because the public was invested. This was building towards something. Everything coalesced when it needed to. The Infinity Saga had an overarching narrative that was easy for people to understand. Yeah, it was a little convoluted here and there, but people got the gist of it, and the casuals loved it. You know, the most important audience of anything, because casuals are what puts you over. You can't expect to thrive in a big way on just your base alone, and the casuals just outnumber any base. I say all this to say that neither of these 2 movies should be coming out next year. I find it a lot of bit insane that they are. I give the entire multiversal saga a D-. Several duds and flubs year by year. Cool poster though. The Speedster and the Celestial were the only 2 things worth a damn in this movie. Falcon is trash. Let me show you some of what I'm getting at here. You see the set list here? Coachella, you got The Weeknd, you got Eminem, you got Beyonce. Those are Avengers level threat artists. They come out last. You build up to that. You don't lead with it and then have all the smaller acts come afterward. It just doesn't feel right. Marvel foolishly thought that after 10 years of build-up to the climactic final battle, the ultimate final battle ever put to screen damn near or close to it, they thought they could get the audience to come back out for more. And the casual is like, more? Is it not called Avengers Endgame? End? Meaning finality or a conclusion? No, there's more. Casual said, yeah, I'ma head out. What's the point? I worked at a movie theater for multiple years. As a supervisor, I got to sit in there countless times looking at the reactions of everyone coming in and coming out. I heard and saw and talked with so many thousands of people and heard their opinion. These casuals didn't know there would be more, or at least not immediately after. And Marvel just kept on going. Marvel should have taken a break for 4 to 5 years. They should only just be announcing things right now to come out this fall, possibly next year. No, instead, they Dwayne Johnson themselves or Pedro Pascal themselves. Doing too much at one time, people got tired. Fatigue started to set in. Not superhero fatigue per se, but a collective tune-off to everything Marvel because the main narrative had ended. And Marvel had so many setbacks. You had the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, who played a titular character. You had the controversies of Jonathan Majors, who you let go. And you also released mid to bad movies with occasional gems here and there. After consecutive years of putting out letter grade D-tier work, why the hell would people flock to theaters to see anything you do? On top of, oh my God, it's Yelena again. But focus. On top of you not taking a break. But what about the movies they succeeded with, you say? What about Guardians 3? What about No Way Home? What about Deadpool and Wolverine? I could honestly do without the 3 of those. I could do without Loki as well. I could have done without all of it if it meant you taking a break and reevaluating what your plans are for your next saga, which you just jumped into haphazardly. How the hell do you make a multiversal saga feel small and inconsequential? And I know some people bring up, well, Kevin Feige wasn't hands-on like he was in the previous thing, and then you had the CEO of Disney had changed, and then it was, I don't care. Kevin Feige was there for shit and still made mistakes. He's come back and still made mistakes. He said recently, we figured out pretty early on that Kang wasn't a Thanos. Maybe don't have him get killed by ants. Maybe that. Oh no, before that, he says, no, you didn't. Also, maybe you don't introduce him in Loki. Maybe he should have been in Doctor Strange, but whatever. I've said that already. Another comparison. It's like you launch your biggest fireworks at the beginning of the show, and then you let loose a bunch of your medium and small size ones. And since you have a continuing, ongoing cinematic universe, you're going to have these big shows, and then you're going to have a lull period. Marvel, knowing that they'd have a lull period, instead decided to focus on inconsequential characters and just uninteresting stories. If you insist on continuing, you might as well hit people hard with big time characters. Introduce X-Men. Fantastic Four should have came out a lot earlier. Either that or you disappear for a few years, make people miss you. Then you return in a big way, everyone loves you again. It would be like you never left. It feels as though the audience weren't the only ones who lost focus, but also Marvel themselves. After all the efforts they put into the Infinity Saga to then continue that without stoppage, you're asking too much for anybody. I don't care how good they are. You will eventually reach a point of stale storytelling or lack of conviction or purpose in what it is you're doing. In other words,
maybe next time don't overextend yourself.
What'd you say?
you make too much shit. Take a break. Take a vacation. Everyone else does it. Everyone else knows how to stop. Why don't you? Well, actually, no, they don't. They just keep going until they milk the cow dry and it's nothing but bones. Then they stop because they have no choice but to stop. Perhaps that dismal fate is Marvel's future. MC Moo.
You suck!
You know what? Just for that, I'm ending this video. Please take a break after Secret Wars. And they probably won't. But just imagine the type of movies and shows you'll get after Secret Wars. There's nothing really to look forward to after that point. At least with this below mid saga, you had in your head, hey, there'll be an Avengers again to make me give a damn, at least for me to tune in. Post Secret Wars, where do you go from there, and how do you then stoke the public's interest without going away for a little bit? I don't think it's a smart idea, but you tell me below, do you think they should have taken a break? Should there be a break after Secret Wars? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you on the next one.